Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's Senior Estes. Sirianni put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders Hill. I bumped my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers to Rager Young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius lay him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link like Gangsta Stride. To the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide. On Sundays, catch the pre and post game. Mondays is Birds on Broad Street with Philly Notion and Cool Cat the Man in Motion. And Wednesdays, the midweek special got you open with JC from Eagles Talk, hitting like B-Dog, baby.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. Today, Nation, we have another very special guest in the house. He's an Eagle GOAT for content creator, Mr. Joey Chase Squad in the building. How you doing today, my guy?
Yo, that intro got me real pumped up. I'm already pumped up for Sunday already, but dude, I appreciate it. It's been a long time coming to get back on the this channel, and we've been planning for a while, so I'm glad to be here, bro. Really glad.
Yeah, man, I am excited, man. Thanks for doing it for me, my guy. How do you like the Birds so far this year?
It's been a really tough year this year. I mean, we have no identity on offense so far right now. Defensively, we've had some ups and downs. You know, we either show up or we don't show up. A lot of positions have to be questioned as of right now. But I mean, it's really down to Nick Sirianni. It's down to our quarterback and just getting this offense rolling. And there's still a lot of things to figure out. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's we're struggling right now, and we need to get some wins. I mean, because we're close to the point where you lose a few more games, this team could be in tank mode, and it's gonna be really tough, really tough.
I think everybody should really realize with these first 6 games being the hardest, that most of us should have had the realistic expectation that we were going to be 3-3 or 2-4 through these first 6 anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not really too concerned. What is very concerning for me is Mr. Nick Sirianni, man. Give me your take on Nick Sirianni. Do you think you give me your take, because I can go off on the guy forever.
I mean, really, it's all talk, no show. I mean, we were promised a lot before the season started of putting players in the right position to win football games. We were promised using players to their strengths and this diverse play calling that we were supposed to get. We haven't got any of that. I mean, even between Shane Steichen, your offensive coordinator, and having Nick Sirianni as your head coach, I mean, they both came from 2 run-heavy offenses. One with obviously Shane Steichen with LA with the Chargers, and obviously Nick with the Colts. And we haven't seen that. We're not really running. I mean, it's worse this year running the football, as we all know. So as of right now, like, I'm not really high on him right now. I mean, I don't know if I've given up on him too much yet. I mean, I'm very close to saying he should be gone. Maybe the biggest mistake that they made this year was bringing in a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback. Technically. So I think that's been a big problem. And I think it's more to it than just who we've hired. I think it's really upstairs with Howie Roseman. And, I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but Nick Sirianni has not impressed me one bit at all. whatsoever.
Right, we have been catfished. You know what I'm saying? With the real Sirianni, please stand up. Because that guy that was in the job interview is definitely not the guy on that field right now, man.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest issue on our offense is? Because for me, I feel like it's really simple. Run the ball. I feel like if we did that, that would help out so many different areas on our team. You know what I'm saying? Not even just on offense, on defense, they give them a breather. You know what I'm saying? We don't have so many 3-and-outs to the point where, they're back on the field, back on the field, back on the field. You know what I'm saying? Less chance of turnovers. Obviously a fumble could happen, but less chance of turnovers. I think that, we'd be getting our offensive line in good rhythm because our offensive linemen like the run block. They all tell you they like the run block more than they like the pass block. So I think that'll help there. And just the whole opening up these receivers on the outside. We got all these speedy receivers, but they're not getting open because the windows are so small. And these fake play fakes are not working because ain't nobody moving because they know we don't run the ball. So what do you think is the biggest thing out there to keeping us from hitting that next level?
I mean, obviously, number one, it's the run game. Despite the flaws that Jalen Hurts has, and obviously we've known he's had deep accuracy issues, he's had short window, the short window issues, reading the field. He's had these issues, but the head coach is not helping your quarterback. Your quarterback is struggling, and you're not helping your quarterback at all, which really, it really just it pisses me off. It really does, and you have to get the ball to your playmakers. There's no mid-tier throws. It's either comeback routes, it's bubble screens, which I can't stand to this moment. I feel like Nick is using the RPO as much as he's counting it as a run play, but it's not really a run play, which
right.
You know what I mean? I feel like the RPOs, he's using it as like it's a run, but it's really not a run. You know what I mean? And it's just getting old. There's no under center. There's no shotgun. There's no different formations. I mean, we don't use a fullback either. So, I mean, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside shouldn't be on the field as is right now. I mean, I think it's going to make it more predictable because they're going to see where J.J. lines up, whether he's blocking for a pass. I mean, there's no risk. I mean, there's no receptions going his way. I mean, they're not even throwing his way at all. So I think it's just a waste of a body. I mean, as of right now, I think Quez Watkins needs the ball a lot more. I think legitimately he is a good number 2 for us as of right now. Jalen Reagor, I've been on the fence with him. I have a lot of faith in Reagor, but I think he'd be more better on the inside than the outside as of right now. There's just a lot of mistakes, and we just look very sloppy. The penalties. Devontae Smith, I think they need to use him a little bit more. I think they need to get him downfield a little bit more and just do a little bit more with him. I just think whatever plays they're calling and the route combinations they have these guys on, it's not fitting to our scheme and what we have to do. But obviously, like I said earlier, the flaws of Jalen Hurts. Help your quarterback out and run with Miles Sanders. You can't go into a half versus Tampa Bay when he has 1 carry for 1 yard. And on top of everything else, you have another running back in Kenneth Gainwell, which I really do like a lot. Okay, with 1 reception for a yard. I mean, it's ridiculous. So they got to get this run game. I think if they balance the run game and obviously, like you said earlier, the play, why are you doing play action pass when you're not even, teams aren't going to respect that you're running the ball. You're not running the football. So they're going to know they're going to go full pass rush on you. So, there's a lot of problems. And it comes to play calling, how they're using players to their strengths, which they're not. And obviously, the run game and Miles Sanders being very frustrated, which I'm afraid that bad things could happen in the future with him and not wanting to be here anymore. So there's a lot into it.
It's like he's causing more drama on our team that we didn't have and didn't need on our team.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be the year we were out of the drama scope, behind the scenes on our team. And it seems like his play calling is causing a lot more. You see Devontae Smith after the game, that clip, everybody's talking about where he said, I just wish we run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Mailata was saying something like, him just running, backpedaling and doing all this. He's so tired all the time. You know what I'm saying? He wish he had some more time out there, It's just like it's affecting everybody on the team, that he's not running the ball and not, calling different plays. I feel like our playbook right now is only like 6 plays deep. You know what I'm saying? Like line up in the same formation. You got 6 plays to do. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. And all we're doing is just running it over and over again.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's when your play calling looks like this every single week. Like any other head coach would be fired right now. By the way we're running the football right now. So yeah, it makes no sense. That's why I think something fishy is going on. Like Nick Sirianni was Howie Roseman's hire. Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Hurts. Like, I feel like Howie Roseman is on a short leash this year. Like, I mean, I think the grace of God, if Howie Roseman gets fired, Howie Roseman is the cancer to this team. And that's definite. Like, we could say we don't want Jalen Hurts to play anymore. We want to bench him. We want to get rid of Nick Sirianni. At the end of the day, like, this guy upstairs needs to be gone. Like, it's time. Like, I mean, because I think by next year, potentially you could have two top 10 picks next year. I mean, Miami lost to the Jags, which that was a big loss for them, but a good win for us at the same time. So you potentially have two top 10 picks. And obviously with Carson Wentz, what's going on with him, plays another, few games, whatever, we'll potentially have 3 first-round picks, and we'll be under the cap for once in a while. I mean, we had to restructure from $70 million. I mean, we weren't even the worst team. I think the Raiders were the worst. I mean, the Saints were the worst team with like $93 million or something. Like, we had to you don't restructure from $70 million. Like, when you restructure players to make cap space for players you want to sign. You don't restructure player after player after player just to get down under the cap. I mean, the starter free agency this past year, we had like $3 million the first day. We were under the cap, $3 million. I mean, it was sad. It's sad. And we didn't. I thought they had a very slow strategic free agency. But once we got to the draft, I thought it was a pretty, I would say a pretty successful draft. I mean, the second round pick kind of threw me off a little bit. Because there was guys like JOK on the board and Asante Samuel Jr., which he's looking fantastic. So, it kind of questions me on what route they're going. So it's a whole bunch of different things.
He got a question here for you. He said, what 3 Eagles rookies have impressed you the most so far?
I mean, as of right now, Gainwell, I think Kenneth Gainwell's played really good, but unfortunately, they're not using him right, or it's really the snap count and how they're using some of these guys as of right now. So I've been really happy. Devontae Smith, I think, is going to be a stud. I mean, I think Devontae Smith on another roster, would play really, really well, but we're just not it's really just how we're using all these players as of right now. And another rookie, I'm trying to think here. I think Landon Dickerson has played pretty good. I mean, I think first game, he got thrown into that 49ers game. And this is a guy that, this is why I don't not like the player. I just didn't like where we drafted him. I think we could have drafted him a little bit later. It was supposed to be a late first round pick and had two knee injuries, 2 ankle injuries, 2 season ending injuries. And, got thrown to the fire after Brandon Brooks, went down. No surprise there. So I really like him at left guard a lot. I've been liking Dickerson at left guard. Like, if Kelsey doesn't retire next year, you could potentially have Dickerson and Mulata on the left side, which would be a powerhouse left side. Definitely. So those are like 3 guys I've liked so far this year. Definitely.
Now let's stick to the offensive line. We got Lane Johnson back. I'm saying, took a 2-week off, for his, illness or whatever. I'm saying everybody has their own opinion of what happened there. No one really knows. But, the good thing is he's back. Do you think that's going to be a plus for our offense and removing Mailata back over to left tackle, and then Dickerson to the bench?
I mean, as of right now, you don't want to see players, you don't want to see starters not play like Lane Johnson, obviously with, the personal issues he's had the past couple of weeks, but it's good to see these guys move around and cross train. Like, it's always a good thing. You paid Mulata, which was probably one of the biggest surprises. I thought Goddard would have had an extension before he did, and obviously Josh Sweat as well. So I would say that they could probably move him back to the left side. I mean, Dillard, has he played perfect? No, but has he played really bad? Surprisingly not. Surprisingly, he's been right in the middle. Like, he's very average. Playing average right now. So I'm like kind of surprised over that. So maybe, that will save him of being maybe a backup tackle or whatnot. I like Driscoll at right tackle more than right guard. Herbig can play both guard spots. I think he plays better at the right guard. So I mean, the more as an offensive lineman, the more positions you play, the more worth you're going to have to the team. So I mean, I want to get Mulata back on the left side sooner or later. I don't mind it now. Like, I think Jalen Hurts has some all right protection right now. So it's really just based off of his mechanics and getting these throws to some of these guys. So offensive line wise, I think we still obviously need to maybe draft a guard next year, maybe there's going to be, if Kelsey does stay, maybe there's going to be a big competition between Isaac Samalo and Dickerson next year at left guard. Who knows? I don't know. But, I think offensive line wise, we're seeing a lot of guys cross train, getting a lot of productivity out of some of these guys. So it's a good thing.
Do you like seeing Driscoll there at that right guard spot? Do you think Herbert should be playing that?
I like Driscoll more at right tackle. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I like I think Herbig plays better on the right side than he does the left side. That's just me though. I mean,
because I just always see, like you said, Driscoll right tackle. I thought when Mailata came back, it was going to be Driscoll, Herbert, Kels, Dickerson, and Mailata. And the fact that they threw Mailata to the other side, we've seen a little bit of struggle that first game. But second game he kind of settled in over there. But I definitely want him back over there on the left tackle this week if Johnson's playing. And then I think Driscoll is a good Swiss Army knife for that offensive line. He is probably the next best lineman on the team. So I still think with what's his name, Herbert's size, that kind of suits the offensive line better for that position. His size being up there, a bigger guard to go, double team up.
Yeah, the main problem is that you can't move Dillard to the right side because he can't play on the right side. We tried that once and obviously killed his confidence. I mean, you just throw him into right tackle for a game, and that was it with 3 starts when he came in here. Obviously, it was redshirt his first year, and then obviously when Jason Peters couldn't hold up in games because of his age, I mean, he would come in and he didn't play well. So I think the main reason is you can't move Dillard to the right side. They can't do too much there. So they got to keep him on the left side because I don't think Dillard could handle being he can't handle himself at playing at guard. He's not tough enough to play at guard. His body's not going to hold up at playing guard. It's just not going to happen.
Han, how do you feel about the whole Zach Ertz trade? We knew it was all coming, but how do you feel about it? Do you think we got good compensation for it? And how do you feel in general? Do you think it's a good move for right now?
I mean, it was kind of a move I wanted before the season started. I kind of wanted him to get traded and maybe get some high draft compensation. I mean, 5th round pick, Tay Gowan. I mean, Tay Gowan played in a couple games, a lengthy corner at 6'1", runs a 4.4. I mean, he kind of quoted himself and said he wants to, I'm going to be the Tom Brady of corners, which I was like, okay.
Too early.
There's too many people talking way too early on this team, especially our head coach. So I really did, it was sad, obviously, but I wanted Dallas Goedert to be the number 1 this year. That's what I wanted. We haven't seen Dallas Goedert as a number 1 tight end yet. That's the big problem that I have. And on a contract year, so I know before the trade deadline, something was going to happen. I didn't know which player it was. I mean, I think Zach Ertz just built, obviously he's going to a really good team in Arizona and it's just made them a lot better. And he doesn't have to be that guy over there. I mean, he could be a safety blanket. He could be just another great target. I mean, he deserves to go to a contender. You know what I mean? So I think we built his value over the past few weeks, since the season started. And, I think there have been talks throughout the weeks, and I think the Eagles just pulled the trigger, and that was it. I thought compensation was fair. I mean, what are you gonna get for him? You know what I mean? Even coming off of last year, I didn't know if we were gonna trade before the season started because even last year he was on IR, and he, the whole offense didn't play well, obviously in 2020. So, I think it's right. I think we're getting younger, and Dallas Goedert's the next big thing at tight end. So,
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next. So, do you think Dallas Goedert can finally come into this role? He's not going to have to worry about sharing snaps, none of that stuff. You don't have Ertz still knocking on the door behind him. Do you think he's finally going to be able to hit his ceiling or get close to it?
No, I think so. I think he showed us a good amount of what he could do. I mean, I think he could break tackles. He can get yak yards. I mean, he's like a bruiser tight end where if he gets on contact, he could drive for a few more yards. Like I think he's, he's very lengthy. He's a big guy. So I think he can go for most of the catches, like a possession receiver, in a lot of ways. So, you know what I mean? I think this team will always use 2 tight ends depending on who the head coach is. Desert Eagle call me Lane Johnson as usual.
Yeah, shout out to Desert Eagle with the 199 super chat. Much love to you, my guy. Thanks for the donations. Yeah, Lane Johnson is on the show, man. We got Lane. So, Lane, what were you really depressed about?
I don't know. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. Like, I think one guy I'm really looking forward to see come back is Tyree Jackson a lot.
Yeah.
Like 6'7".
I think people forgot about that guy, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm like wondering the way he set it up. Two things I was wondering with Howie. Is he just playing our mind games with us when he he had Dallas got to all of a sudden be close content for COVID. So, Ertz could play his last game by himself, you know what I'm saying? And then, you trade him now. Cause I always thought this was going to be the time. Once I heard Tyree Jackson went out, right before the season, I was like, watch, right before the trading deadline, Tyree Jackson's going to be on his way back in. And then you even heard Howie say in his press conference that, they like what they're seeing with him developing and get ready to come back on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, as if the guy's already back practicing and we just don't know nothing about it. Like, you think this is some magic Howie's working here? You know what I'm saying? He already seen the move before it happened and he's about to make it happen. And we're going to have two good tight ends here.
I think so. Even Jack Stahl's not horrible. Like, I think there's more to see with him as well. I think he was the highest paid undrafted player we had, that we gave him more guaranteed money this past year. And I think Tyree Jackson is going to be. I mean, he's just learning the position, and he's playing. He played really well in preseason. Very productive. I mean, 6'7", 82.5 inch wingspan. I mean, the guy is just monstrous. You know what I mean? I think really it's just learning the position and being a good route runner. And I think that's really it, really. I think he'll be really good. I think those are your two tight ends. Definitely.
And I think Jack Stahl was supposed to be used as a fullback, I'm not sure that game that we played, 2 games ago when we lined up in the eye, ended up everybody getting all excited, thinking we're about to do a run play, but it was just a quarterback sneak. You know what I'm saying? I think that was Jack Stahl in at fullback, man.
Yeah.
And like he got it. I was all happy. Like, yes, finally we got I formation, a normal formation, about to run the ball, quarterback sneak. But I really think they should use him as a fullback if you're not going to be throwing him the ball very much. You know what I'm saying? We should definitely get him out there.
Right. No, I think so. I mean, I think everybody should be involved, but I think now with Dallas Goedert being your number one tight end, like now we're going to see some really good things from him. It just depends on the head coach, and obviously Jalen Hurts and his decisions he makes on the field. And I know they like to utilize tight ends, and just see what happens, and see what happens with him at the end of the year. I think ultimately he will get paid. I think it will happen, but definitely, the money for everything else, like Malata's extension, Josh Sweat's extension, like that hasn't, affected us yet. So I think more moves will be made next year to free up more space and obviously get more draft capital. So.
Yeah, and I heard you say earlier too, because I've been on the Quez train all year long, even from the beginning. Y'all know I've been pushing for Quez Watkins, man. And I heard you say you also believe that Quez should be number 2 right now coming in, because I think he said it, in training camp that Quez Watkins is going to be your outside with Smith and then Rager in the slot, which I believe is the perfect lineup. You know what I'm saying? For me, I'm even on the board of saying that wouldn't even care if he was number 1, because they're both going to be on the field anyway. But I think he deserves more targets in this offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the only one that I think if you're throwing the ball anywhere around him, he's going to go get the ball, as opposed to, like, I see some of these other receivers, they're waiting for it to come perfectly in their hands. Even Devontae sometime, I'm like, Devontae, really? You didn't just go grab that, But Quez Watkins is showing, aggressiveness to make sure that when the ball's in his area, he's catching it. And I think you gotta reward players like that on our roster. So, how you feel about our receivers? Give me a grade for these receivers out here.
Oh, geez. I mean, for what I think they could do, I mean, there's a difference between what I think they could do and what they are right now. Is 2 different things of how they put
do what
offense.
You think they can do, because they obviously ain't getting enough target on offense.
Oh yeah, I mean, Devontae Smith's an A+ receiver. I just think he's just got to be used, more downfield and more mid-tier throws. I think with every receiver, really. Quez Watkins, I think, as much as Jalen Hurts has been inaccurate, he's caught some passes that he has saved some games that keep drives alive, and his speed is just, even like the first game against the Falcons when they did the bubble screen to Quez on each side, I was like, man, this man is fast. I mean, really fast. The big reception during the 49ers game. And obviously, we couldn't score in the red zone at that point, but and Rager is Rager is just, he does a lot, he talks a lot on Twitter. He says a little bit too much on Twitter, every day. And Rager's made some mistakes this year, but a lot of people are trashing, Rager a lot. I don't know if he's going to be that, number 2, or he can be like a number 3, or maybe he's a third down gadget receiver just to line him up and use his speed in open space. But, Rager's made some mistakes on his own, obviously the one out of bounds, he's called some PI calls, and there has been some throws to him that were underthrown to him or overthrown on going on go routes too this year, where he could have been in the right spot. Even that one on the right side, the Tampa Bay, I think he was running on the right side and he slowed down. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got pushed or he slowed down on the sideline. I think that ball, I think would have had a touchdown right there. The Cowboys throw, it got intercepted, underthrown right to the corner. I think he would have had a touchdown. I think there's a lot of these throws would have been, I think he would have had a lot of good receptions this year. Unfortunately, I think it's bad quarterback play, but and I think it's how they use him as well. JJ obviously is an F for absolutely nothing as of right now, because good blocking.
He don't even get a D for run blocking.
Maybe, maybe that, but it's just because of one preseason game at the last game of preseason, he gets 40 plus yards on a touchdown and a first down. I mean, give me a break. I mean, without that play. I think Howie's just trying to justify that pick at the end of the day. He's praying that something could happen with it, but they're not even throwing at him. They're not even creating plays for him. So what is the point? I mean, and then Greg Ward is one of the most even you go back to 2020, even with Greg Ward, I think Jalen Hurts and Greg Ward had a really good chemistry, and you're not even using Greg Ward. I would at least use between Greg Ward and Rager in the slot, and keep Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins on the outside. But Greg Ward's got to get more snaps. This is ridiculous. Like, he's he's not a burner, but man, the guy can get separation, especially red zone. I mean, the guy can get a lot of separation, and he's very reliable. So, I mean, it's not enough guys are playing. There's not enough snaps going around to everybody, and it's bad quarterback play. It's accuracy issues. It's a lot. It's a lot that comes in together. So ranking the receivers of what they could do, I think potentially Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins are your top 2 guys, and then they might bring in a veteran receiver next year. Maybe they bring in another a veteran guy next year, so they could do that as well.
Up one, right, Kane. Is that his name, Kane?
Yeah.
We picked up a receiver, Kane, from Clemson, right? That Clemson guy.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works out. But I feel like they're getting used right either. I want to see more, pre-snap motion. Some of these end rounds. I think Jalen Reagor would be a perfect, that play they use with Tyreek Hill always. You know what I'm saying? The end around, when he's coming down the field, hike the ball, hand it to him, let him do like a little sweep to the right side or sweep to the left side. Something like that. It's more of like, getting on the ball early in the game, early and often, to get his juices flowing. So then you can go downfield on him. I think we have a lot of players on our team that need that early confidence, those early touches to get them going, to get them, feeling good about the game before you see like big plays come from them. Kind of like with Miles Sanders, you know what I'm saying? I hated when I heard Nick Sirianni say, well, we ran the ball that one time and then we didn't get anything. So, I kind of went away from it and tried something different, like, whoa,
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Well, Oring says the game hasn't, we didn't run the ball because the game didn't, what the defense gave us, or, what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't care if Tampa Bay is good against the run. Like, you see what he did at the end of that game? Like, come on now. Like, the guy could run. Like, the guy has so much energy. Like the guy has barely been used. He should have had a Pro Bowl year last year. I mean, he should have last year. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But it's very plain. It's very bold. Like there's no creativity in this offense. There's none. Like I watch other games. I'm just like, look how easy it is. It's so easy.
Right.
And they're like, these receivers are not like, they're just robots. Like, I feel like they're just running a route and that's it. Like, they're not like doing any moves off the line. Like, they're not being creative with, I don't know. It's weird. It's just, it seems like they're just not being coached up the right way. And, I really hope, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Nick staying here after this year. I'm really not. I mean, really, in my book, if you're a rookie head coach, win at least 5 games and I'll be happy. You know what I mean? At least we're trending somewhere. Because really, at the end of the day, the 2021 season for the Philadelphia Eagles is really, dude, how much did we expect to happen? I said 7 to 9. I said 7 to 9 wins and maybe 10 plus wins if they really surprised me. I mean, that's what I said before the season started. So, you're run heavy in your first game, and then you just disappear after that. So I don't know. I think it comes from upstairs. I think Nick is having meetings with Howie every single week, and Howie's telling him how, what he should be doing, whether it's a win or a loss. And I think that's affecting us a lot. And it's unfortunate, but
having these 10 games kind of like a mini bye week, do you think he will reflect on that and we should see some run plays, or do you think this is going to be Nick all year long? Do you think he's going to take this time to reflect and realize that we need to run the ball, so we will see some run plays coming against the Raiders, because that's one of their weaknesses too, is stopping the run? So do you think he's going to use that to his advantage, or you think this is just what we need to expect to see from Nick the rest of the year?
every game I don't think he's gonna run the ball like that. I don't think so. I think he's gonna be the same most of the year. Maybe there'll be another game where we get really surprised. But I don't think he's gonna change. Whether it's a few days extra, to me it really doesn't matter. I mean, I hope he does, but I mean, my expectations aren't really high on him having a better play calling day, really. I mean, I think the only thing about Nick that I do respect, as much as if he's a good coach or a bad coach, is that he's very humble on himself with some things. And, he'll say that he stunk it up in the play calling. And I think it started out with the 49ers game when we had the 93-yard reception by, Quez Watkins. And then literally we went 2 plays for 1 yard apiece. We had a false start and we did a Philly special. So,
No, don't even call it a special.
I was at that game. I was
Philly reject or whatever, man. That was horrible.
It was really...
That's my huge thing too with Nick. He has to stop passing the ball in the red zone. In the 10-yard line. He doesn't even run once to see if it works. He just passes fast, and that makes me so frustrated.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Really, sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. Like, I feel like they run north and south in the red zone. Like, I think they've done it with Gainwell once. I mean, really, when Miles comes into the game, I feel like they like just throwing screens to him to the outside, and that's pretty much it. But teams are gonna it's sloppy and it's lazy. Doing an RPO is just lazy. I just think there needs to be more. It's very lazy, because what was the defense? And really, you run the football to tire out sorry, I can't even talk right now. To tire out the defense, and it really, it's an easy game for the defense. You're not tiring them out at all. Like, you don't even have Jordan Howard on your active roster right now, which I'm still. Right. I don't get it. I don't get, you signed Kerryon Johnson. You had Elijah Holyfield. You had all these guys, all these bruisers were like, oh, we're going to have a bruiser in Philly this year. Thank God. Jordan Howard looked good this offseason. He lost weight. He bulked up a little bit, looked really good. But my God, I mean, it's been a disaster. Boston Scott's not even dressed for it. I mean, he's on special teams. That's it. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no answer for it.
And then, but it's even if you pull them up, I feel like there's way too many players on our roster on that 53 that doesn't even play at all. These guys saying, if you're on the 53, you're going to get a lot of playing time, you know what I'm saying? And I just see these guys, like you said, Boston Scott's only on special teams. Why? You know what I'm saying? You couldn't have an undrafted free agent running back on special teams. You know what I'm saying? We're paying Boston a little bit of money. He's not a big, bank breaker, but you know what I'm saying? He's a talented running back where I feel like you can get a trade. Someone would probably trade for Boston Scott or something like that, to the point where he's not being used on our roster. So why are we keeping him? You know what I'm saying? Do you think there's going to be some fire sale trades before the end of this week? I know the trading deadline's coming up here. Do you see any more teams or players on the move?
Maybe we'll hear rumors about somebody on the trade block, but I don't know if I think they're sellers at the trade deadline. I mean, definitely. I think number one, I'd get rid of in an instance is Derek Barnett. I think Derek Barnett has been absolutely just hasn't lived up to the first round expectation. He's a big reactor on the field. He doesn't think before he does anything. It's just the penalties on him and just being careless. I don't like it. Losing BG was huge this year, because now it doesn't free up. You can't really free up. I mean, I think that's why Fletcher Cox is not playing well. And I'm hating Fletcher Cox this year. And people are very emotional towards Fletcher Cox. And I know why. And look, I respect everybody's opinions. When I say something, everyone's like, I'm like, all right. I understand. You know what I mean? But I'm watching Aaron Donald every single week, and he's getting double teamed and everything like that. And he's leading the whole league in sacks right now. So it's just, Fletch he's disappeared. I mean, he's just disappeared. I mean, he's on the wrong side of 30 right now, and he's just not. he's just not producing the way I want him to produce. And Hargrave. I'd say that defensively, like, the only players that have been playing well, our cornerbacks have been playing good this year,
Right.
and Hargrave's the only defensive lineman that's playing good. I mean, really, he's the only guy that's been playing good nonstop every game. He didn't do anything last game against Tampa. I mean, we couldn't even get Brady. We couldn't knock Brady down once last week. It's either the defensive, and usually, like, I mean, let me know if you agree with me on this. Like, we've always had a good defensive line every year. Like, it's always good. We've always had production. The one year where we actually get a capable cornerback in Steven Nelson, and Slay is back to playing pretty. I mean, he played, he gave up 200-yard games last year. Who cares? Whatever. That was his worst year of his career. But this year playing really well. And, now there's no pass rush. And we have, Avonte Max playing fantastic. You know what I mean? You signed Tate Gowan. You have Zach McPherson. That's a project from Texas Tech. So, I mean, it didn't really look good in preseason with I think his tackling is good. I think his taking angles to, get into the football against the run is really good. But when it comes to his coverage, it's kind of suspect right now. But it's still, he's a rookie, and there'll be a lot of competition next year, depending if Steven Nelson obviously leaves after, into free agency, if he commands more money. So there's a lot of, defensive line has been the big issue. That's the heart of our defense. And it's totally this, Kerrigan, nothing. I mean, it's been bad.
Where's Milton at?
Who?
Milton Williams. You know what I'm saying? This guy that everybody's getting on the hype train for, too. He's supposed to be the next Aaron Donald. Fletcher Cox giving this guy praise. And that's another one. I have not seen no big plays from him. Like, where has he been?
That was an analytical pick by the Eagles. That was based off of his charts, of his training charts. That was basically the analytics department versus the scouting department. And that's when that whole thing happened with Howie Roseman and the war room this draft. And they, the scout department wanted to draft another player. I forgot who it was, top of my head. I think it was another defensive lineman or something like that. And then obviously Howie Roseman, analytical department, his test scores were great. His scores. I mean, he was like, I think was the best defensive lineman when it came to testing with his speed, and he's got a short area quickness. He's got short arms, but he's powerful. They've moved him from defensive end to defensive tackle. They've moved him around a little bit, but that's another pick by Howie Roseman that's not working out. Teron Jackson, another pick that's not working out. They kept 3 defensive linemen. That the guy from USC, I can't say his name. Yeah, I can't say his whole name, so not gonna happen.
Marlon, we just call him Marlon. Marlon Tua.
All right, Marlon.
Yeah,
and he's Marlon. And I thought that was a bad pick just because I don't know, he's very undersized for a defensive tackle, and I don't think he's gonna do much. So I mean, a lot of smoke on Howie Roseman right now. Some of these draft picks. I mean, a good amount. But some of the moves he's made the past couple of years. So,
do you think it's more of the scheme that's keeping us from getting these sacks, or do you think it's actually just the players?
I definitely think it's scheme. 100%. I think it's scheme because I don't know what Gannon's good with. He's a cornerback coach with the Colts. I mean, he was a good corners coach, but you're barely blitzing. Your linebackers are horrible. I mean, they're bad. I mean, Singleton is probably the one guy where I'm like, okay, he could be like a backup linebacker, but really, other than that, you got no thumper at linebacker at all. You really don't. Like, you've missed out on a lot of linebackers like Patrick Queen. You missed out on a lot of guys over the years, and you don't have that thumper at linebacker. I mean, they get, when teams do misdirection, like these guys get tricked with their eyes very easily. They can't tackle. They can't, they're going against the run. They can't make tackles. I mean, it's really linebackers. And we saw a lot of production from linebacker this offseason. We're like, oh, okay, maybe there's, Davion Taylor came back, he made a couple tackles, he was doing pretty good. And then, he started getting smoked up. So, it's linebackers is huge. It's the middle of the field is wide open. It's wide open.
I feel that's the reason why this defense probably it's not even that bad of a defensive scheme, but we need those linebackers. He's used to that Minnesota thing where they had Barr and Kendrick. Those are big thumping linebackers. You know what I'm saying? One was more coverage than the other, but they did everything you need at the linebacker position. They were making tackles behind the line of scrimmage. They were beating these running backs in the holes, but we don't have none of those linebackers on our roster, like zero. Like even like Davion, I'm a big Davion guy too myself, but at the same time, when I watched him play last week, he was getting ran over too. You know what I'm saying? Like none of these guys are big and physical enough to be in this defense. Like, yes, they're making tackles. They got a lot of tackles, but it's all 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. We seen what happened with Fournette and freaking Singleton
Oh
last week.
God.
Brady just took advantage of him, just kept dumping the same play over and
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one. Singleton versus Fournette. Fournette was just running them over and over again. It was so disheartening, man.
Just think like the 49ers game, like our 3 linebackers were in double-digit tackles. Like that's bad. Like that's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's not. Your defensive line isn't getting off blocks. I see them; they're getting manhandled out there. So it's definitely a scheme. Like I'm not a fan of. I'm really look. I don't care rookie defensive coordinator, rookie head coach or not. Like this looks bad. It looks. I mean, I think I have more. I have more faith in our offense just because we can make plays. There's plays that could happen, and sometimes it doesn't get there. Defensively, like I don't know what I'm gonna get. Like what happened to doing stunts for your defensive line a couple of games ago? You were doing these little stunts. You were doing so. If your defensive line cannot get pressure, you got to start doing stunts. If your stunts aren't doing anything, you got to blitz, and you don't
Yeah.
blitz. So it's
Do you think
unfortunate.
Howie needs to go ahead and pull that trigger? Which I would give up a first round pick for a stud linebacker. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like,
100%.
I would do it right now. And I think that's the biggest need. Because I think if we did get a stud linebacker, because if you put him in the middle and then you have Singleton and Wilson be your little outside, coverage linebacker, but make sure he's in the middle there, I think our defense would be a lot better. And hey, don't get me wrong. Like, I think our defense have done a pretty good job against considering the teams we played. You know what I'm saying? The offenses that we went against. Like it's our offense that's kind of been letting us down the last couple of weeks. The defense is like, how many times are you going to stop Brady from scoring? They've been getting takeaways. They've been getting sacks recently. You know what I'm saying? They're doing their part, after Gannon, got chewed out, by Nick Sirianni or
Right.
Fletcher Cox had to come on live TV and tell everybody that the system sucks. I feel like he's actually made changes, and we need somebody on the offensive side, like a Lane Johnson or a Kelsey or hell, the owner or somebody need to talk to Nick Sirianni and tell him to run this ball. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can get that same effect on the offensive side. But I feel like, last year we were way worse in the passing game. You know what I'm saying? We gave
Oh
up a
yeah.
lot more big plays, but we are way better in the run game and getting sacks. And we're just not there this year in this defense, man. And I think they need to switch it up a lot more. Just like, who cares? Don't be set in stone on one thing. You know what I'm saying? Call the game through the flow of the game as opposed to like, oh, this is what I want to do this game and this is what I'm gonna do the whole game type situation.
Yeah, it's like they're not giving up the big play on defense, but at the same time, you're moving your corners back like 10, 15 yards every single play. Like I don't get why you're being so cautious. Like zone, I can't stand this. I can't stand this
I
defense
hate it.
playing zone. They let these receivers run by the corner, run by the safety, and it's like then they're like, oh wait, and then they don't know who to cover. Like there's a lot when you play zone, there's a lot of communication. And I don't think they're there yet. I just don't think they have. I don't think they have the right guys for the scheme that they're doing right now. Especially if you get injured, and especially if you have no productivity from a lot of players, you have to change it up a little bit. I mean, that's why when you had Malcolm Jenkins here, he bandaged this defense. Whenever they needed him at linebacker, he played linebacker, outside corner, safe. Didn't matter. Like you don't have that guy. You had that guy in Will Parks a couple years ago, obviously last year, I think, and then they got they ended up releasing him. And then you got to see what you have in Jacoby Stevens and see what he has being a hybrid linebacker / safety. So obviously there's more competition next year. This team will get younger next year, but I'm not liking how they're using some of these guys defensively. Like the matchups are horrible. And it's strictly I feel like he's just running his defense and that's it. And he's not giving up the big play, but he's giving up big runs, like chunk runs. And you take that Cowboys game and every game on top of it, it's like an average of eight runs of play, 8 yards of play. It's like second and short. You can't have a second and short. It's killing us. You just
And it's like, what's
can't.
the difference for giving up the big play? And like you said, giving up 5 plays, 5 yards at a time, they're still, if anything, you're making it worse on our defense because now these guys are getting gassed out, because they're getting the ball ran down their throat, these little simple plays on them, boom, boom, boom. But you're getting those chunks every down. So it's not like you're getting any 3 and outs from it. So it's like you might as well mix it up, be more aggressive. And, you pay Big Play Slay and Nelson enough money to line them up out there and let them hopefully they can handle the thing. Do you not think that our blitzing would definitely make more pressure so they won't be so much of these dink and dunk type plays? So I don't know. I think yes, these coaches are rookie coaches, and they're going through the rookie coaching phase thing right now, and hopefully they can bounce out of it before it gets too late in the season. Because like I said, I feel like these next couple of games, you know what I'm saying, are definitely going to be winnable games from here on out. You know, besides the Dallas Cowboys, I was gonna say something rude, but besides the Dallas Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the only that's like the only elite team we're looking at really coming up the next couple of games. Because we got teams like the Broncos, the Jets, you know, New York twice,
I,
Washington twice.
so I'm going to ask you this. So what do you think? So when are you going to be in tank mode? How many more weeks are you giving this right now?
To go into tank mode,
Yeah.
man, like I don't know. Like I said, I had us going 12-5, and then I first said 11-6 before my first video,
Right.
and I feel like we could still get to 10-7
Okay.
because that's a what 3 more losses, and really with the teams coming up, I can't even give you 3 teams I know we should lose to. You know what I'm saying? Like offhand, like we should beat the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the Chargers, maybe the Dallas, which would suck to get swept by Dallas, but that's like two
Right.
teams. That's 2 games where it's like okay, it's possibility of losing those ones. But other than that, what other ones? Like if we lose to
We lose
the
to the
Raiders, then
Lions.
we
You lose to
lose
the
to the
Lions.
Lions,
Forget it.
then we lose to the Jets or the Broncos or something like that. Yes, you might as well go
The
ahead and
one
try to get
the one
three
word I
top 15 picks, man.
let me tell you something. The one word I can't stand when people say is like they're beatable. I can't stand when we say beatable because I can't even judge another team right now because we have so many problems right now. Like I can't even judge like what another team like. I looked at the Raiders this week. Yeah, they had some injuries at a cornerback. They actually just signed Desmond Trufant like a half hour ago. The news just came, so they just signed him. You
We
know what I
did.
mean? So no, they did. They did.
Oh,
The Raiders signed Trufant.
oh man.
Nothing to really worry about too much,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to judge another team right now because I'm like, well, yeah, it matches up well, but like, can we actually execute it? That's the next
My
problem.
deal
So
is like right now, like I said, if the defense keep on the trajectory that they're going, you know what I'm saying? They're definitely getting better, you know, to the defensive side of the ball. And the offense to me is very simple. You just run the ball and like now your plays work. Your play action works
yeah.
now when you run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like the passing lanes will be open more wider because you got linebackers playing up, safeties can't cheat cheating them back, have to come up and respect the run. Like that one thing can open up our offense to a whole
Yeah.
nother level that, like Jalen said, we're that close from breaking it to being a successful offense. I really believe that. We got the talent. You know what I'm saying? We're getting Lane Johnson back, so that's going to help our line out. So if we just run the ball, to me, like if I can say the one fix, run the ball and stop with the penalties. Because even last week, that penalty late in the game, we could have got the ball back again if we didn't get that Talton call, even though it was a
Oh,
BS.
I messed. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that messed the whole drive up. I mean, we don't know what would have happened. Would have we
Yeah.
stopped them or whatnot? I don't know, but oh yeah, like I mean, the league is just soft at this point. So it's just like Fournette came up and hit his helmet, and it's just like I feel like the guys that retaliate get the flags, and the guys that start it, which I think is a bunch of BS. But that's just me though. At the end of the day, but yeah, no, it's despite the flaws of Jalen Hurts, like I said earlier, like I think if you could turn some wins into this, if you start running the football, at least get pressure off Jalen Hurts, like just get the pressure off him, and so he doesn't have to, you make him throw too many times. Like like they're showing stats of Jalen Hurts, he's got all these yards. I'm saying to myself, well, they don't run, so it's just. Yeah, I mean, I would hope he has a lot of yards this year because I hope, and I think the one thing he's not doing is turning the ball over like too much. But I don't know. It could happen a lot more. I don't know. Because he's overthrowing and underthrowing, and just reading the field has been a big problem. And obviously going over tape since the first game, he's missed a lot of targets wide open. Devontae Smith's been open numerous times. Rager's been open numerous times. It's a lot of players, but.
And do you think just all that RPO where he has like 3 options on each play all the time over and over again is like a part of that? Because for me, I think, if we did more traditional running, at least on that running play, he can like be brain clear. You know, all I'm doing is handing off the ball. So that's a play. You know, if you run the ball twice, that'd be like 2 plays in a row where he doesn't even have to worry about making any decisions. You know what I'm saying? And then with the RPO, it's like, okay, now you got him thinking, do I need to hand it off? Do I not need to hand it off? Should I run it? Should I not run it? Or should I just pass it? You know, by the time he makes those 3 thoughts, it's like 2-3 seconds into the play, and most quarterbacks only get 2 or 3 seconds to throw the ball. So I think that's one other reason why a lot of people see that he is not making it to these 3rd and 4th reads out there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think with the RPO, you don't have much time, especially like even on when you're doing like 3rd and shorts, 2nd and shorts, whatever, and you're not running the ball up the middle. Like you don't even have Jordan Howard on your roster. Like you could use a bruiser at that time. You do a lot of things. Like, and you do these RPOs, and sometimes it's like he holds the ball for so long in Miles Sanders' stomach to the point where it's like it looks so awkward. And he's just like, if I was Miles, I'd just be like, give me that, I'll just take that ball and just run.
Right?
It's really annoying to watch. And then when you do see the bubble screens, it's just like, you see the bubble screens and like they've added some things to the bubble screens. Like it's not just he's just throwing the ball to the sideline now. And now it's like he's gonna like fake a halfback toss to Rager. Like, oh yeah, I got fooled by that. He's just like this, and then he puts the ball back. I'm just like, what is Nick doing? Like, I can't even comprehend, man. It's wow. It's the worst. I don't know. This is the worst. I don't know if I've seen even Doug. I thought Doug's
offense for sure.
I thought Doug's rookie year was bad. I thought that year was bad, but
I think this is the worst offensive play calling I've ever seen.
It's worse than last. I think it's worse than last year. I think it is
way worse. Because Doug still ran the ball sometime.
Yeah, sometimes. But still,
all of our offensive line was out last year too.
Yeah.
And like those guys that were in last year, they're better this year, like the Driscolls and the Herberts. So I don't feel like bad having them in this year than I did last year when they were all rookies and Driscoll was too small and Herbert was too fat. It was like, I'm saying, these guys weren't playing the way that they're playing now. He said you got 3 first-rounders, but might all be in the top 10. If we keep playing like this, it will be all in the top 10. Is it worth the linebacker? Yeah, I would pick a linebacker in the first round next year for sure. Like especially if we got 3 first-rounders, one of those picks is going to be a linebacker for sure, 100%. And if there's 2 stud linebackers or a linebacker in that DN, if we can get, they say Miami keeps sucking the way they're sucking, and we get like that top 5 pick, definitely that guy Tiblos or whatever his name from Oregon.
Yeah.
That's my first round pick. And then I'm grabbing a linebacker, maybe Harris from Alabama, and then whatever cornerbacks left after that, whichever one's out there.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, and it really depends on if this GM is still here, because that's going to be the huge difference of what happens. I'm telling you right now, if Howie Roseman is gone, there's going to be GMs lining up at the door.
Right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I think you need a new GM next year with a new head coach next year. I think 100%. You need like a new era needs to start. Like we need to get back. 21 years Howie Roseman. It's far too gone right now, and not like we're gonna, even if we had 2-3 picks in the top 10, like it's not like we're gonna be using all 3 picks. I think one of those picks will probably be used to trade back to get more picks for 23, most likely for 2023. So I think that's gonna happen, because I don't think they're paying 3 first-rounders. But I don't know. I have to see what they do in free agency. I have to see what trades they make, who's not here, by the draft time. I don't know. Like, yeah, I want pass rusher. Really, I want pass rusher. I want linebacker. I want safety. You're losing Anthony Harris. You're losing Rodney McLeod this year. Kavon Wallace is all talk, no play, always gets injured. So I'm pretty much almost done with him. And there's really nothing else, really behind that. So this team needs to start building the right way. And I think the past couple drafts we hit on some targets, definitely hit on some players, definitely. But we need new leadership in the front office, and this is very dysfunctional. This is the worst team in the NFL, and these coaches are getting away with bloody murder for what they're doing on the field. And I don't know how, and it's not like I don't know how it's happening. I strictly believe, as much as it's just rumors, like I felt like they did that with Doug last year. I think Doug left because of Howie last year. I think one side want the bench Hurts. I mean, one side want the bench Wentz. The other side didn't want to bench Wentz. And I think it just became, to where they kind of had no choice but to pull the plug last year. And then going into this year, obviously, like I just think the biggest mistake they had was obviously it doesn't matter what head coach you hire with Howie Roseman still up there because obviously it's too much control. The coaches let the coaches coach, and that's it. We have most of the coaches from the Colts. You got the passing game coordinator from the Colts. You got the tight ends coach. You got almost all their staff, and it's showing right now that there could be something going on with Howie Roseman, what he's doing with these coaches every single week, and I'm done. Like I don't think if Howie Roseman stays after this year, I think this team is another 4 to 5 years from doing anything because I just don't think they're going to be able to. You can have the best players on paper, it might look good before the season starts, but it's how they're using these guys, and obviously Howie Roseman telling these coaches at these Tuesday morning meetings, like, okay, well, this is what you have to do this week. I don't know if that's true, but how is Nick not fired yet? How is Nick not fired yet? Like that's it's just weird. It's weird to me. It's just weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I would suck if that is what's going on, how he's telling them what to do, and he's just a puppet. He's just a puppet doing his thing. Because, like you said, man, both of these guys, Steichen and him, come from run-based offices. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ran the balls, not San Diego, but L.A. Chargers run the ball, and the Colts run the ball a lot. They had a three-headed monster over there. And that's what really got all of us excited, thinking that was about to come here, and we're about to do all these big things. And to the fact that, having two rushing plays in the game, that's just dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely ridiculous. I've never even thought, you're not even getting the respect as a college coach or even a high school coach. Everybody's calling this offense a Pop Warner offense. You know what I'm saying? This is something you learn in preschool. It's definitely not something you'd be running in the NFL here.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if they keep these coaches this year. And it's not that, but I think if Howie Roseman gets fired, I think that's going to be the biggest, win of the season. I think the main opponent for the Philadelphia Eagles this year is Howie Roseman. Really, at the end of the day,
I think fire him and keep Nick. Because if he's holding all the cards, telling Nick not to run, did we see what Nick actually got?
I'm saying, I think Shane Steichen, maybe has a good scheme for the week, and then obviously Nick doesn't execute on the scheme as the game goes on. So I don't know. I mean, we're gonna find out. I mean, we're gonna find out the rest of the year, and then by the time, if it's week 11, 12, and this guy, if it's week 12 and this offense looks the exact same as it has, there's definitely something going on that we kind of already know, but it's not released yet. We know that something's going on behind the scenes upstairs, and it just makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. I don't know if he'll get fired during the season, but it's gotta be a one and done for me if it doesn't change.
To me, this week is really gonna kind of push my way of how I really feel about Nick. You know what I'm saying? If you got all this time and you still come back this Sunday and run the same BS you've been running, I swear I'm off the ship in terms of him. Straight up, you had plenty of time to look over yourself. You said you're going to self-evaluate, and what you come up with. Because if you came up with your plays are awesome and you're doing the right thing, then you're an idiot. I cannot have that be my head coach.
No, and if especially with the extra, we have to look in the mirror and we have to, we have extra few days to, prepare and, I definitely know we have to run with Miles Sanders more. Well, then do it then. Don't, then do it. So if it doesn't work out this week, I think I might be off. I think I might be off with him. I might be done with him. It's starting to happen now. I think theoretically, realistically, I think if you lose the next 3 weeks, I think if you lose the next 3 weeks, I mean, maybe even 2 weeks, at this point, if you lose the next 2 weeks, I think this team is done. I think they need to start. They need to start getting ready. Detroit.
Yeah, we lose both of these next 2 games, man. Woo.
I think the icing on the cake would be losing against the Lions that haven't won a game yet. So I think that would be the icing on the cake. I think if they lose against the Lions, you can't just sit there and be like, oh, just a bad game. You can't.
It's okay. We're rebuilding. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No.
man, that'd be tight. So, what do you think? What's your biggest worries about this game against the Raiders? Like, what are some players that you're looking for to make an impact against us? And how do you think we need to attack this game?
I mean, like you said earlier, like I think we have to run on this team. I think if you run, you're gonna have a really successful game. If you balance out your offense, you're gonna have a successful game. Like you have defensively, you have to worry about Ruggs and the good offense. Derek Carr. I mean, I'm not really been a big Derek Carr fan, but the guy is tough and can make the throws. So I think they
He's
could
like
do
a
that.
rhythm guy. Let him get in rhythm, you're in trouble. Because
Yeah.
they do got Ruggs and Renfro and Waller and all those ballers out there. That if you let him get in the rhythm, but if you can keep him from hitting that stride, hit him, put him on the dirt a couple of times, he's just as bad as any other quarterback.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, I think offensively, I think you have to watch out for Hayward, the cornerback. There, that's their top corner. That's pretty good. And I mean, I think you could pass on this team definitely. But I think you got to, if you can run and balance out this offense, I think you'll have a really good day. And I think you will. But I don't know if it's going to happen. But I think if they don't run, they're going to lose this game 100%, like every
do, you,
week. So.
do you think it's going to be a high scoring game against the Raiders?
Yes and no. I think they could score. I think they could score over 20 points this game. I think they could do it. Definitely. 100%. I think they could do
Could
it.
be able to do it for sure.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, the Raiders are good, but I'm not like sold on them being like some world beater type team. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
feel like we've already played all the teams we should have been worried about losing to, and we lost to them already. Like, but we gave them like the good thing about it, like the moral victory. Even I don't like giving those, but the moral victory is like we didn't get blown out by Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? They're
Mm.
the champions, so we didn't get blown out by them. You see all the stars they have over there, and then Kansas City, we kind of got blown out at the end, but the game was a lot closer, than what people thought it would be. In Tampa Bay too, and then we beat Carolina, and the only
We
game I
were
feel like we lost was the Cowboy game. Like that's the only like loss where I feel like we had no shot from the moment we
yeah.
walked in there.
They were in close games this year. They really were in close games this year, but like because of penalties, because of obviously like predictable play calling, and your defense couldn't get pressure. I mean, there's a lot of like there's always like offense plays good, defense plays bad, defense plays good, offense plays bad. It's like we never meet in the middle when both sides actually play well. You know what I mean? Like it's just even the Panthers game. Like I mean the Eagles defense won that game. I mean they
Yes.
with three sacks and two picks. I mean, or no, 3 sacks and 3 picks. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. You know what I mean? So, it just happens that way sometimes. But I wasn't like, yeah, we won, but I wasn't happy. I was like, oh yeah, we won. I felt good that we just won, like mentally as an Eagles fan, just staying sane for the week and be like, all right, we won. So I'm kind of happy that we won. But it was still negative all around with the fans anyway. I mean, it was still negative. It's going to be negative, and the Cowboys game was probably the worst game this year so far, and where I didn't think we were going to have a shot against Tampa, but there's people that over exaggerate. Tampa's going to score 40 points on us. I said no, they're not going to score 40. Like Tampa's defense is like it comes to the pass, their defense is horrible. I mean, it's bad. They were down 3 corners. I mean, not even just 2 corners. I mean, they didn't have Levante David. Plus, they didn't have 2 corners. Then Richard Sherman got hurt. That was 3 corners out, and you still couldn't get it done. You still couldn't get it done. It's just, it doesn't matter how many injuries a team has. Like this team just can't win against themselves. They can't beat themselves. I mean, it's just they beat themselves every week. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, the self-inflicted wounds, like I said, like we should be sitting here 5-1, 4-2 right now. In terms of like our talent versus the other team's talent, like a lot of those games, like the San Francisco game, for instance, I feel like we got outcoached. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a match, and you just got outcoached. You know what I'm saying? They attacked, and you didn't make any adjustments in that game. You know what I'm saying? Even Dallas game, I think we got outcoached. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they went into Jerry's role, and it was like the stage was too big for him. You know what I'm saying? Like Nick was sitting on the sideline, not like he didn't know what to do. Hurts didn't know what to do in that game. Like we just got destroyed that game. And then like another one, the Kansas City game is more like penalties and not running the ball, keeping Patty Mahomes off the field hurt us. And then like the zone keeping a zone defense on goal line. That's another thing we keep doing on defense that I really hate is that zone defense on goal line. When you're in goal line, that's man to man time. You know what I'm saying? Why are you in any kind of zone, especially with Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
sitting?
blown coverage every time.
Yeah, so like I said, we are. I feel like we're that close to being a good football team. Like I still feel like we can change it around. You never know what happens. Dallas loses a lot of games in December. Late in the season, so you never know what could happen if we can start out this game. But like you said, we lose the next 2 games in a row, like especially if they're not like close loss. I won't even say that. If we just lose both of the next 2 games, close or not close, if we lose these 2 games, then yeah, I'm definitely not looking at this team as being, you know, like not they're not doing it this year. Maybe we should go ahead and try to go for 3 first round picks in the top 15 next year.
I think really this team would turn around pretty fast if they got a legitimate head coach that's not being controlled by the GM and hires, obviously if they're whether the head coach calls the plays or not. And I think we're just with a little bit of coaching and with a little bit more control for the coaching, and obviously giving these picks to another GM, and I think this team could turn around within 2 years. Maybe not even that. I mean, this team could turn around, but from what it's going right now, it's just a wasted year to me in my eyes.
But do you think Howie got the leverage? Because that's what I've been telling everybody. Everybody's like, Howie's got to go. But I'm like, do you think he has leverage? Does he set up these picks? You know what I'm saying? Like he is Jerry's boy. I mean, Lori's boy, and like he kind of set up himself for the future. You know, by saying like, hey, I got these picks for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what I can do with the picks that I accumulated, type thing. You think that's gonna save his job?
That's all he's good for, though. It's really his trades are good. His cap, like moving the cap space, is great. Like, but when it comes to like doing like where the real work is going is drafting, and I'm saying this drafting's been more bad than good, and when it's good, it's like very rare. But I think I don't know. I think he's on a short leash this year. Like, and there's too many variables like between players that he's drafted, coaches that he's hired. And obviously, Nick Sirianni hired his own staff on top of it. So, I mean, it's just not working out. I'm not saying it's going to be a huge, like, a firing squad where you're going to fire everybody. But Howie Roseman has got to be the one guy to go. I think that's what's holding this franchise back. I think
Do you
that's
think
what.
I was gonna say, do you think we need to go back to the old school? How the team picks a head coach, but also picks the coordinators too. Don't let the coach bring your own squad in. The team actually picks each individual position. You know what I'm saying? And then you match those 3 guys together because that's what you want. The model of your football to be like. It's like those 3 guys that you hired. And it's up to them to work together and get it going on. Or do you think we should keep it this way, where players just bring in their friends?
No, this team needs to
Coach,
start when it comes up top. I think the team needs to. I think a new GM comes in, and the new GM is looking for a head coach that he has a really good relationship with, and I think that's what they have to do first. Because really, like mostly when head coaches get fired, their GMs are usually replaced GMs at the same time, like most of the time. But with this team, it's not. So, and this team needs to be more stable when it comes to being emotion, like having emotion towards players. Like if you're, this is a week to week, year to year league. Like if you're not playing, like they were giving out contracts after that Super Bowl, like a couple years after that Super Bowl, like. What it's not one have you, it's a what have you done for me lately type of league. It's not like, oh, well, you're with us during the Super Bowl, and Howie Roseman kept the same roster to think that we could win a championship again because try to keep, as close as to a roster that we had from that year. And unfortunately, it's just, it's not working out. And that's why you don't hit on your draft picks. You have to restructure contracts every single year. You're over the cap every single year. You never have cap space. You never have, what I mean? Your draft picks are okay, but you're not picking the right guys at those picks. So that's the problem. I think with the GM gone, the GM hires a head coach, and then Kellen Moore might be gone from the Cowboys next year. He'll probably be a head coach next year, most likely. He's going to be on the outs. Just when the Cowboys are playing good, Kellen Moore's going to be gone. That's just what happens. I didn't want to lose Frank Reich when it happened. Not only that, but Doug fought for Frank Reich to stay after 2016 because they were going to fire Frank Reich after 2016. You know what I mean? It's just their decision making is not good, and I Howie Roseman has there's a lot of bad picks, and I don't care Super Bowl or not, like it don't matter. Like it caught up to us. Like last year, it caught up to us. Like, we're in the playoffs every year, feels great, but there's going to be a time where it's going to catch up to you, and it caught up to us. So
I wouldn't mind seeing Ozzie Newsome come out of retirement and be our GM. That guy built some nice Raven teams over there. You know what I'm saying? The Ravens got some studs.
Yeah, Louis Riddick too. Like, I think Louis Riddick would be a great GM, but if Howie Roseman leaves, like, I don't think a lot of people want to work with him. I think either he steps down. If they bring in another GM that doesn't mind working with him, that's fine. But if there's a point where, Roseman has to either leave or just work with something, or just be in the organization but do something else, I don't know. But I'd rather
Let
just
him
him
do
be
all
informed.
the other stuff. Let him do the finances, the
Yes.
contracts, and things like that. And just have the GM control the players, you know what I'm saying? Like, let him, he can stay and do our books, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I think Howie's great at those three things, the trades, the money, and then, what is it? The trades, the money, and then, like, just negotiating in general, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just sucks at draft picks and the player personnel. So just hire a good staff for that part of it and let them stay and deal with the money, you know what I'm saying? Keep money, Jerry's books good. I mean, not Jerry's, Lori's books right. You know what I'm saying? Keep them up there. But we definitely needed someone, a change, a fresh air, in that position. You know what I'm saying? He has been
Definitely.
missing. It's like we sit here every draft and like, we wish we got that player as Eagles fan. We want that player. This is the player that's gonna be in our range. We probably have like 5 players in our range that we want, and it seems like none of the 5 ever get picked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
like
know.
I gave you 5 on how we like these are 5 bona fide studs that you can pick from, and you don't pick none of them. That kind of been very disappointing.
Yeah, and a GM leaving like Howie Roseman, it would just be like, there's nothing promised that's going to get better after Howie Roseman, but I'm telling you, it's a huge win. It's huge. If he leaves, it's definitely huge. So haven't seen an extension yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to the 25 still in the chat. Please hit that like. Thanks for watching our show today. Hit the like and subscribe to both of our channels. Both of them are inside the link. We got you on here for like an hour 11 already. I know you're a busy man. I'm gonna go ahead and like get us to the end here. So what I like to do is have an all-time Eagles team. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just your team. Since you've been watching the Birds, your favorites at all their favorite positions. We just go through it. I'll give you a position, how many players I need from them, and then we'll go from there all the way through. So let's start out with your quarterback and goes. Who'll be your favorite Eagle of all time, and who would be backing them up?
All right, so with this whole list, like, I definitely go back in time because I've loved players I wish I was around to see, and obviously so I'm a little creative. So
all right.
So I went with Randall Cunningham because I just love his play style, and obviously and Donovan McNabb, obviously. So I was a big Donovan McNabb fan as well. So
nice. 3 running backs.
Westbrook, LaShawn McCoy, and obviously going back in time to Wilbert Montgomery as well.
All right.
So definitely.
2 tight ends.
Zach Ertz and Brent Selleck.
Easy,
definitely.
Yeah. That was easy money right there.
Yeah.
4 receivers.
I loved Jeremy Maclin. I went Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson. I even went to say Fred Barnett, another guy.
Yeah, he was good.
He was really good. Yeah. I even added who did I add?
I did like Keith Jackson. That was good.
Yeah, definitely Keith Jackson. Yeah, Keith Jackson too at tight end. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. You said 4 or 3? You said 3 or 4?
4.
So 4. I said Barnett. I said Deshaun Jackson, Terrell Owens, and Jeremy Maclin. Owens definitely just a showstopper.
Who's gonna be on the offensive line?
Offensive line is interesting. Offensive line. So obviously I had Kelsey at center. And on both sides, I had Trey Thomas, I had Runyon, Evan Mathis at guard. Todd Herman switched. Todd Herman was never a Pro Bowler, but I liked him playing guard and tackle.
He didn't make it a Pro Bowl?
I don't think he did. No, surprisingly, even in 2013, we had the top offense. We had the number 1 offense and number 1 offensive line, and never made it. No.
Oh yeah, Grant Kessier always likes me to throw this one in. Fullback. Who's your all-time favorite fullback for the Eagles?
I don't think I put in a fullback. I don't even know, to be honest.
Like John Rich. Basically, for me, it's like either you're gonna pick Richie or you're gonna pick Weaver that we got those couple of years from Seattle. Because those for me are
Yeah,
Probably
Richie,
best.
I remember. Yeah, it'd probably have to be him. Yeah, I haven't fullback wise. Yeah, I don't. We haven't used one. We haven't used one so long, so it's like I have to really think back on this.
Okay. What about your defensive line?
Defensive line. I mean, man, I went back. I went like Reggie White, Jerome Brown. I mean, even Clyde Simmons. You know, I had Fletcher
Ooh,
Cox. I mean, Trent Cole when he was playing in the trenches as well. So, oh yeah,
that's a nice line right there.
Mm-hmm.
Three linebackers.
I love Michael Kendricks and obviously Seth Joyner, Jeremiah Trotter, definitely.
Hey, that is Cecil Barton. I do remember him now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, Grant. He was a good fullback there. Three cornerbacks.
Cornerbacks, obviously, back in the day with Troy Vincent, Lito Shepard, Asante Samuel, if you want to go even back further, with Eric Allen as well. So,
Yeah.
definitely.
Safeties. Give me three of them.
Safeties, obviously, Brian Dawkins, Quentin Michael, and then, Malcolm Jenkins definitely has been a huge favorite. So,
nice. And your punter, your kicker.
Punter and kicker. I don't punter wise. Because back in the day, like I wasn't very into I was into football, but I wasn't like into like every position with every player, even with punters. I mean, I just put Donnie Jones just because we won a Super Bowl with him, and then obviously David Akers.
Akers was a man. You know what? On my new list, I'm putting Sippos for the punter.
Oh yeah. He had some bad. I think he had a couple bad punt. I think he had a couple bad pumps Thursday night. I think he had 2 bad punts. That I mean, he's been good all year.
All year though. He's been definitely pinning the teams back there. You know what I'm saying? I like the way he's doing. He got to keep that up the rest of the season for sure, for sure. Who's going to be your defensive coordinator on this team?
It's a hard one. I mean, I like Jim Johnson, obviously, but at the same time, like Buddy Ryan. Like when I watch videos on those days, like when there was no rules and no patty cake football.
Yeah.
Buddy Ryan, even just watching, I mean, Buddy Ryan was so like, he just talked. I mean, there's no filter on Buddy Ryan. There was no filter. Ask Joey Shakes, what's his second string quarterback?
He said McNabb. I think Jay just
McNabb. Yeah, I was gonna say Foles as well. I would add him in there as well. So if I want to add 3, I add Foles in there too.
Nice. So. And then your offensive coordinator, you said?
Marty Mordway. That was with Andy Reid.
Oh yeah, Marty was a man. Yeah, he didn't do well as a head coach, but he was a pretty good coordinator there. And he was pretty good coordinator. Grant Kazir always trying to add new stuff. Can you give Grant Kazir a kick returner and punt returner, or it could be the same player?
Obviously, like I like Josh Huff a lot. I like Josh Huff on special teams.
Oh yeah, Josh Huff.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, right. He got in trouble. He got stopped on the Walt Whitman Bridge with the hollow point bullets, and after that interview he had in the locker room at practice that day, when he was like, "Oh, everybody carries a gun," or like, "What NFL players don't carry a gun," he got fired right after that.
Hey, snitches get stitches. Definitely out of the league, man. You're ratting everybody out. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. Who'll be the head coach?
I mean, Andy Reid's been one of my, just favorite when it comes to being like a player's coach, and just as much as success he's had. Obviously, not winning a Super Bowl, but it's always close to my heart with Andy Reid.
Yeah, like even when we play him, like of course I want to beat him because I hate the fact that we haven't beat him yet. You know what I'm saying? That really makes me mad. But whenever the Chiefs not playing us, man, I watched some football. I root for Andy and his little boys over there. You know what I'm saying? I definitely was happy he finally won him the Super Bowl there in Kansas City. So that's good for him. I'm always gonna say Andy's my favorite coach. Like everybody, I had a couple people be like Dougie P, but I'm like, I really didn't like Dougie P that much. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like a favorite coach. But I'm happy he won a Super Bowl for us. But he wasn't one of my favorite coaches, though.
Right. True.
But hey, man, thanks for sharing your time with me, my guy, coming on the show. Go ahead and give everybody a little breakdown of, where they can find you at on all your social media platforms.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. I cover the, Joey Shake 72. I cover the Eagles every single day. I stream games every single week. I do the Philly Shakedown podcast with Philly 500 every single weekend. So we have fun with that. If you like some R-rated stream talk, and obviously, it gets kind of insane over there. Definitely check that out. And that's pretty much it. Like we just, there's always content every single day. I mean, you won't really miss a thing. So we're usually busy. Follow me on Twitter at JoeyShake72. I mean, that's really all I have social media wise. I don't really have Facebook or any of that stuff. So usually you could contact me on Twitter is probably like the main thing. And plus if you follow me on Twitter, I definitely put other content on there. It's not just football. Like you'll get to know more about my life on there and other stuff on there. So
like, I know someone said something about the picture in the background there. That's a nice one right there. Who's all on there? Is that Freddie?
Freddie, Leatherface,
Saw guy.
Yeah, you got Leatherface. You got Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers on the other side.
What are you gonna be for Halloween?
I'm gonna be him. I'm gonna be Michael Myers for Halloween.
Nice.
So there's me and
watched that last night. We just watched that the new Michael Myers movie.
Yeah, I've watched it like 4 times already. I went to it opening night. I went to go see the movie, and it was great. It was awesome. I had a really good time. So
who's your favorite out of all the scary guys?
Michael Myers is probably my favorite all time.
Is that the one who scared you the most growing up?
Scary. I don't know. I mean. Maybe when I was younger, definitely. I mean, Jason Voorhees was definitely from the Friday the 13th. Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of reboots and remakes and stuff like that. Like Rob Zombie's Halloween was really brutal and really scary back in 2007, 2008, whatever it was, and that was like brutal. So, yeah, I'm big on the horror stuff. I'm actually. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm actually going to be doing a YouTube channel based on horror news and stuff like that. So I'm going to do another YouTube channel because I just, I feel like getting into other things and doing some other things with my time. So definitely going to do that. I haven't made it yet, but I'll announce it soon.
Well, let us know because we don't definitely subscribe to that, man. That's nice. Did you okay, I got a question for you. Did you like the Freddy versus Jason?
No.
Not at all, huh?
I like the movie. Like I'll watch. Like there's movies that like are like kind of bad, but I'll watch them because like they're good to watch. But like I'm very up and down about it. But Freddy vs. Jason, like it's not a great movie, but not a great movie. But I'll watch it, but I don't think it's like a masterpiece or anything like that. No.
Cause no one died. No one died at the end.
Huh?
Cause no one really died at the end, right?
No.
They're both still alive. They're both immortal, so it's like, I was hoping to see a finisher move, you know what I'm saying? Finish him, he's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see neither one of them on the screen no more because he died in that movie. And I definitely didn't get that part of it, man. Yeah, growing up, too, I say Freddy was scary, the first Freddy for me. But then after that, I started kicking Freddy's butt in my dreams. So he didn't scare me no more.
Freddy, those movies are kind of nuts. Like, they're weird because I didn't get into Freddy too much when I was younger. Later on, I did. But yeah, they're kind of creepy. They're more creepy, yeah.
The Hills Have Eyes was another good one. Yeah, I liked that one too, man. There's a lot of good ones out there. Like you said, Hellraiser. Yeah, all these guys. Yeah, they're all good movies, man. We definitely going to see. Maybe talk about some movies here on Twitter sometime. My guy, I'm gonna check out some of that stuff, man. I do like Jason. I'm a huge Jason fan too. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he doesn't die ever too is another one. But see, I think that's the reason why I wasn't that into Michael Myers because I always felt like that was just another Jason. You know what I'm saying? Both of them just walk around. They both wear the mask, you know what I'm saying? Even though Jason's a hockey mask, and they both couldn't kill him. They were kind of using Jason uses his machete, and Michael was always stabbing people. So like I gotta feel like they were kind of the same person. I'm like, no, man, I like Jason better. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, Jason. But it was all good, man. It's all good. Yeah. Hey, shout out to the 25 we still in the chat. Much love. Please hit that like on the way out. Help get my content out to other Eagles fans and other content creators out there. Thanks again, Joy, for coming on, man. It was a while, but hey, we finally got it done. And whenever you want to link up again, my guy, let me know.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it today. I mean, we were talking about this for a while, but I've been so busy, and we were back and forth, and then we stopped talking, then we were back and forth again. So I'm glad that we got it done, bro. And definitely, I'll definitely be on again. Definitely. I mean, we'll have a lot more to discuss later in the season. So.
Oh yeah. So definitely circle back on that Nick Sirianni thing, that's for sure. Hey, shout out to the rest of you guys for supporting the channel. Like Mrs. BIRDGANG said, the channel membership is up. So if you guys want to subscribe in other ways, you can also get a channel membership. I'm gonna be dropping on some, exclusive content on there. Once we get it start going and rolling and stuff like that. And much love to everybody that's giving super chats already. Much love to that. That is up to. Also, check out the BIRDGANG Nation Sports Media. That is up, and we are almost at our first 100 subscribers on that channel. I think we are two away.
Wow.
So if you have not subscribed to it, please go over there, get us over 100. You know, we got some great content, Eagle content creators over there, and we're actually going to be making a tweak to it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be adding, it's going to be turned into more of a NFL media station over there. So we're going to do more than just Eagles. Obviously, all your favorite Eagles shows are still going to be on there, but we're going to add in some other people in there, you know, from other teams, stuff, you know, just help it grow a lot more. So make sure you guys go over there and drop a subscribe over there, you know, hit that post notification bell. And yeah, man, Fly Eagles Fly. We also got a merch store for both the network and for BIRDGANG 31. Hit that up as well. Lock Terrain Watches. Holiday season's coming up. That is the sponsor of BIRDGANG and Nation Sports Talk. And much love to all you guys. We're growing, you know what I'm saying? I think we're up to 1.4 in our first 4 months. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it without you guys. Much love. Keep supporting the channel and let's keep growing, my guy.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm pumped, dude. I'm excited every week for football. Regardless of what it is. But the more we lose, the more fingers are gonna get pointed, and you know we're gonna see where this goes. We thought last offseason was exciting. We're gonna see what happens at the end of this year, and then see, you know, it's going to be an exciting, you know, end of the year, and you know, there's probably hopefully better things to look forward to, you know, depending on what we do the next few weeks. So we'll see.
So what do you think we're going to do again, Joey? By the end of the season, give me your end of season record. You think we're going to make it to? Are you still keeping the 7-9 wins, or do you think it went down a little bit more? Or
I think maybe 2 more games. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer about it. I just realistically, like, if they don't pick up their, you know, what they're supposed to do, I think they can only win maybe 2 more games, because I think at the end of the year, like, there'll be
teams. He said win 2 more games. I thought you were talking about losing 2 more games.
Oh no, no.
He said 2 more games. I thought he said. He said, whoa, man. Everybody's getting fired.
Wait, what happened? I don't know what's going on.
Did you just say you only see us winning 2 more games?
Yeah.
The rest of the season?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's dude.
We have to fire everybody if that happens. I don't want nobody returning next year.
They should have been fired now. Like, look, I don't want to say that, but I don't know. Like, we're gonna see
the Jets, the Giants twice.
Look, I live in New York, so I watch the Jets play all the time, and like they look better than us right now, and they're still playing bad. I mean, they look better, but they look bad, but they look better. So if that's like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope, like, especially with the Jets, I hope so, because, like, you know, the Jets have never beat the Eagles ever in NFL history. So I'm hoping. I don't know, because you know what?
If he agrees too, he said, "Yeah, man, I agree with you."
If both sides play on like a standard level to where offense and defense could like meet in the middle, and actually both sides play a good game, it just feels like it's a one-sided game every single time.
That's true. But I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm hoping this week we get that problem fixed. You know, we can get back on the winning streak and push for a playoff spot or something like that. Because I still feel like our team's too talented. If we only won 2 more games, everybody has to get fired, my guy. I'm sorry. Howie got to go. Lurie needs to sell the team for one. Howie got to go. We need some new coaching staff, man. I don't want nobody returning. All your contracts are void, man. We're going to start. It's going to be a new expansion Eagles team coming in here, man, with 2 games, my God. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
I hate to just tell the truth, but like,
hey, it's all good, man. Like, I can see why you say it. You know,
I hope they don't. I hope they win. I hope they win another 5 games. Trust me.
We're gonna keep Joy on this 7-9 win. You know, that's what he said earlier in the show. We're gonna let him ride out with that one, man. Because we only won 2 more games, man. I'll be crying, man. That's horrible.
I'll come back.
Hey, the only thing good that will come out of that is 3 first-round picks in the top 10 or 15, and that'll be a blessing. But I'm not a guy that like looking at next year, so Let's go, Eagles. Get it together next year.
You can't even say it with a straight face. You can't even say it with a straight face.
Hey, shout out to all you guys still in here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Till next time, this is Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, BIRDGANG 31, and we are out.
See you later, guys. Peace.